nice to see you. It's a big group. I was like, such a big group.
Yeah, we tried to count how many countries there were people from, and I think maybe 8 or 9, but it's nice there are so many people who are from like Canada and the US and places that I think maybe don't get to
Exactly,
come
to
to these
meet.
things before.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very nice to see you. Have you been at the rink this week?
Yes.
Okay. Probably as much as we all did, right? It was a pretty intense week. Oh my God, thank you. How do we do this?
Yeah, because we talk about it being an intense week. Judith was going to be our moderator, but I think because she's not here, it will be me instead because she's stuck in traffic now.
Okay.
But some people thought of some questions, and everyone will just ask what they want to ask. And
Yeah, I think it's good if we just discuss a little bit, and if you have questions, feel free to ask. I will start with a little bit of how the week went from my perspective, and I mean it was a pretty interesting competition. I think I didn't expect much coming to Montreal in the sense that so first of all, we changed the program with Dennis after Bavarian Open, and for him it was just to get into some kind of flow and rhythm, so he gets to enjoy his skating. For him it's really about being in the right mood at the right moment. So, and he injured himself 10 days before Worlds, so it was very scary when we were at home. And once we were able to, once the confidence was there, just the fact that we were going was already a big step. So yes, like I said, I was not expecting much. Just being able to show the new program, being here, enjoying his skating, that was one of the objectives with him. And with Shoma, we spent 1 week, beginning of February together when we were in Japan, and we worked. It was also very weird to work during the night. We had a few hours of private ice in Japan, and working at night with him and seeing that doesn't matter which hour of the day or of the night, he's full power all the time, so intense. And I'm pretty impressed with how precise he has become over the years. He used to be a little bit like me, and he became so much more precise and so much more aware of what to do and how to repeat, and just to go and go and go and go. So this kind of mode of hard work and repetition was very impressive to see. And yeah, and for him it was really about going out there, and unfortunately the flow yesterday wasn't the right flow. He was, I wanted the image of being compact because he has this great energy of accelerating, being quite compact. But yesterday this compactness became a little bit too tight, I think. So it was lacking the elasticity that we know of Shoma. I haven't been able to see the performance, but yeah, it's sports. It's, you know, when you have 4 minutes and you need to show the hours and hours and hours of work in 4 minutes, it's quite a task. And I think for him now it's to accept that this happened and to move on to the next challenge of his career. And I was telling him I think it's not so much what kind of medal we have around our neck. It's so much more what we do and how we react to what we do and what happens in life. So he's a great person and he has achieved a lot, and to achieve more or less doesn't make him a better or a worse person. He's a great person, and I have so much love for him and admiration. So it's hard for me to be objective, but I mean he's a fantastic athlete and a fantastic person, and I think that's what matters today.
It's good to hear that you said that too, because when we talked to Shoma in the mix zone afterwards, he was saying that he felt mostly satisfied with everything leading into this, but then just sorry that he couldn't make you happy with his skate.
Yes.
So I'm glad that you could share some of that with
I mean,
him.
happiness is doing all what we do, right? And I look forward to go home and to practice with the skaters, and I mean this is what I love to do, and this is what I enjoy to do. And of course, when I was comparing, also trying to explain to Shoma, that was my feeling when I was competing, and I retired, and I retired with a 4th place at the Olympics, and the image of one day is your birthday and the next day is someone else's birthday, and success is a little bit like this. It's one day it's your turn and the next day it's someone else's turn, and being appreciative of when it's your time and when it's someone else's time, also being admirative, to admire also. I mean, Ilya was just phenomenal last night, so it's also being being conscious about someone else's birthday and acknowledging it and being happy for when someone has the moment to shine.
We were also thinking that it's been 4 years, or it's been 20 years since you were your 4th place at Worlds in Germany as well.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
There are a lot of similarities with
like,
Shoma.
yeah.
It's quite crazy. Yes.
Yeah. If you think about yourself back then, do you feel like you see similarities to your students?
So if I go back to 20 years ago in Dortmund, I gave it all, and I think that's a similar feeling. Shoma gave it all. This is always the case. He's 200% for his skating. We were in different points of our career, in the sense that the 4th place in Dortmund gave me so much eager to work and to get more, and I think for him it's another moment of his career where he has achieved a lot and he has done that, and just the questioning is a little bit different because the time of the career is different. But I could compare that to my 4th place at the Olympics in Vancouver, definitely. And I mean, whatever chapter comes next, I told him there will be a lot of opportunities, and there are, in life you have a lot of opportunities when you're in your 20s. I think you should not be too picky, and you should actually enjoy them. And those opportunities will actually slowly bring the focus to something that makes sense to you. At one point, you will just find a path that is more defined, I would say. So, but it takes time, and even when you're in your 30s, it takes time, and probably when I will be in my 40s, I will say that too. So, and it's gonna come very soon. So, voilà. What?
Oh yes, it's the
You see, that's the 40s coming.
Maybe we can swap a chair.
Or I can.
Oh yeah, I can see the leg cable.
I just.
Speaking of which, we all want to get.
Everyone's looking for chairs.
Let's swap.
My chair, take my
That
chair.
way, we don't want to have you falling around here. It's so dangerous. Yeah.
Like my
We
chair.
also want to. We also. Here, you got it.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
I've been standing. I'll speak. It's good to sit. We also wanted to know, how's your leg since you were injured back in January, how are you doing?
So my leg is actually doing much better. The muscle that I pulled is connected to my knee, and my knee has been bothering me since 2002. So it's my weak point is my Achilles is my knee actually. So, but in April I will do a couple of little like treatments. Hopefully those will help me to be able to use my body a little bit longer. Because I really like to perform, and yes, I still want to perform and skate. So
we want you to perform.
yes. I know, and it's hard to keep all those muscles working, but yeah, teaching is something that I adore to do also, and I try to skate as much as possible when I teach, so I can still not only show, because some skaters it really helps to show, and they are very good at observing and reproducing what they see, so it's good to be able to do it myself, but it's also good to be able to feel myself, because sometimes I say something to the kids, and then when I'm able to do myself, then it actually come together even sharper. So it's that feeling I want to keep as long as possible, and try to find a way to make that feeling grow into something that I will use when I will not be able to get there. But yeah, we need to anticipate a little bit. I'm not a good person to anticipate things, but I have this window that I need to use.
Please, people have questions, please ask.
Bonjour. When you step onto the ice to perform or compete, do you feel that your personality remains the same as it does off ice, or do you feel yourself transform in any way?
It's a very interesting question, because I imagine that what we see when skaters are performing is actually the personality. Like it's, even though, you know, when you see an actor in a movie, you see the role, of course, but you see much more than just the role of the actor. And sometimes you see some remake and with a different actor, it's the same role, but you see the actor, right? So I feel like when you're a skater and you perform, it's really hard to not show your personality or to be something else. And like I was saying, it's not the medals at the end, it's really your actions. And when you skate, that's what you are. What you do is what you are. And of course, the fact that there is pressure and attention, and it's a moment of big truth, it transforms you in a sense, because you're in a zone where you're not you're not just at home having your coffee, right? So you're of course paying attention to so many details and things, but at the end, when you just perform and you push yourself, it's who you are, it's what you are.
I see.
I feel that's what I love about figure skating. It's, yes, you see a lot of similarities between all the programs, with all the same jumps and all the same spins and all the same steps and all the same musics over the years, but each person is so different. And I remember watching figure skating in the 90s and having all those images of those skaters that were so strong in their personalities. I remember skaters that never won worlds, like Nicole Bobek. She just had such an impact on me, and watching her just start the program was already like watching a movie, you know. So yeah, no, personality and musicality is two things that are so important in our sport, and I love the sport because of that.
Indeed. Merci.
Bonjour, Stéphane.
Bonjour.
I was actually in Torino in 2006 at the Winter Olympics and got to witness both of your programs. So I followed your career for a very, very, very long time. I was 17. I followed your career as a coach and whatnot. My question for you is, where do you see the future of figure skating going as a whole?
It's I wish, and my responsibility is to defend the figure skating that I have in my mind. And like I said, I watched. I actually started skating, watching figure skating in the 90s, and it inspired me. I don't know if I was 7 today and watched figure skating on TV, I probably would not want to start this sport. I would not be as inspired as I was when we were in the 90s. But I'm in that business now, so like I said, my responsibility is to defend what I believe in, and I'm also, my responsibility is to teach what I believe in, and I think we have problems, of course, and like, for example, material problems. Those plastic boots are really a huge problem for the quality of skating, and it makes skaters jump after just putting their skates on. They're able to jump, but they lose sensitivity of being connected to the ground and using actually this groundness to make those edges a bit deeper and some different levels of knee action. So I want to work on that, and I want to defend this kind of skating where the gliding is, this is specific of figure skating. We glide, we use the edges. If we would not have that, then we would just put roller skate and do roller skating, but we have the possibility of using edges. And for me, this is the future of skating, and this is also the past of skating. This is tradition of skating. This is the specifics, and this is what I will defend as a figure skater and a coach. Yes.
I would like to ask you a question, which is bothering me for the last 20 years. So I just remember when you competing, and at the end of your programs, you were usually, not usually, but quite frequently, doing this rotation with acceleration at the end. At your Vivaldi program and all of that.
Like
so
spins?
Yeah, like the spin at the very end of the program with the acceleration, and then it is ending. Why nobody, after your times, is doing that? And is there any secret you are also teaching your guys, your students, to make such an amazing rotations?
Like I was saying before, musicality and personality are very important in skating, and I think in my case, I had this vision of once the music stops, I don't want to have any regrets. So it's just like, okay, when I still have those few seconds until it ends, I just want to empty the tank with whatever is left, right? So it's just squeezing to the last drop, you know. It's really that sensation, and then the music is also something that inspires me. So if the music calls for and I will just go for it, and I will not go halfway. I will just go. So musicality, personality, and just putting yourself out there to the final drop.
Who else has a question? Oh, yes, you have a question.
Can you tell us something about choreography? It seems so easy. Choreographer is point, yes? But I think it's a lot more than the steps. How do you find the music? You have to cut it to the right length. You have to watch out that the keys match, that the beats match. Maybe you have to watch out for rights from the composer or the artist. How's that process?
It's a long process, and it's a process that I really enjoy doing. I think the first step, which is probably the most important step, is to get to know the skater. And I come back to the personality, but it's really, really, really important to go inside that personality. And to go inside, you need to know, you need to talk, you need to see the technical abilities, the physical abilities, the emotional abilities, the hobbies of the skater, or the sense of art, the coordination. Is there some interest in actually music or not? Of rhythm. Some skaters are going to be very rhythmical but not very expressive. So how you need to get to know the skater so well and to understand, okay, is that a personality where I'm going to be able to put a character on it, or will I just use the technicity because that's the strength of the skater, or some more romantic side, like someone that I worked with that I think has a very interesting personality is Camden Pulkinen, and he has so much passion, and I mean, what you need to show from him, it's this passion that he has a strong energy, and he's not very precise, and it goes a little bit all over the place, but he has this passion, and you need to canalize that, but you need to put that on ice. So just to define this personality and to see, this is the first point, and once you have that, then of course you're going to research the music, the theme, whatever the skater will wish to skate. Sometimes they come with a very specific ideas, and if I'm in a good mood, and I will probably accept it. But no, and if it's good, of course I will. I actually love when the skater comes with a specific idea, but it must really come from the guts, you know. It cannot be just because he saw 2 years ago Yuzuru skate to that music, you know. So it needs to be for a personal reason and not for an external, just one image that is probably very impactful, but at the end you want to connect with the music. So music will be a big part of, also music research will be a big part of this process. And then when you structure it, well, then for example with Dennis we decided let's go for Lion King, and there are so many pieces of Lion King, so you need to then come to 4 minutes is so short, so you need to pick, and you have like, I don't know how many hours of Lion King you can find. If you take from the musical, from the movie, from whatever singer that has covered it. So there are a lot of pieces, so you need to come up with what will I use for the intro, how will I structure it to make a storyline. And this is something also very, very interesting, which takes time. And sometimes you have an idea, you combine the musics together, and then you feel, this part is not great, so we adjust. And sometimes it just feels like whatever you have put together, it just feels like right, because you can picture the elements and how you will combine it. And I think once the music is done, and you're happy, you're satisfied with it, then the process of creation, this goes like, it's just writing a letter. You know, when you're inspired, and like so the music is done. It's already, the inspiration is already on. You press the button and you write the love letter, and you just have things like, I put my AirPods my earpods, or how do you call
Yeah.
those?
Yeah.
Earpods.
AirPods is the brand, the Apple ones are AirPods.
Okay, whatever. You put the music on and you just let yourself go, and it flows. It really flows. And if we would not have so many jumps and so many spins and so many elements, I would just dance during those 4 minutes. For my skater to do that, but of course we have to figure out the layout of the elements, and you know that each element takes a certain amount of time, so you also have to be not only inspired but a mathematician that counts, and yeah, it's a long process, like you mentioned.
But can you really take all the music you want to? Because it's playing in the open, doesn't it have?
Yes, you need. So what actually we do is we need to write down on to the ISU the exact music, so they can free the rights.
Okay,
all
they
the
do
music.
that.
But we need to write down exactly which music we have used with which composer. Yeah.
I don't know the cups. I know that my mom is super interested about how the cups works.
Because okay, I'm doing a lot of music, that's why I know. But you can put a piece in, say, G minor against a piece in B minor if it doesn't fit. So do you have to watch? Do you like look at that?
Yes, of course. Yes, and of the counts, and you want that the phrasing is working. It needs to match with the tune. Sometimes you like a cover and you want to connect with the original song, but it's not the same tune. So
Yes. Okay.
so
You have to learn things about music theory and that kind of thing, or just by listening you can sort of tell?
I'm a listener. Yes, and if I feel it's like Chris, for example, he does a lot of editing for me, and he's a very good listener, but he's a very good like he knows music just because he's good at everything. So I just feel, yes.
Is there anything about like certain types of music that you feel fit for your particular skaters, like for Shoma and Dennis and Koshiro, and what features? I know I remember hearing somewhere that you have like playlists for them, like
Yes.
what makes a certain song go to the
Yes.
Shoma playlist versus,
Yes.
you know, the Dennis.
Well, I think we understand that they are all very different, right? And when I see Koshiro, he is so much into playing a character. Like he's really good at expressing a character. He's also very good at being rhythmical and quick. So anything that will allow him to expose himself this way will match. So the playlist will be in that kind of tone. Dennis, I would say I feel he's capable of doing a lot of things because he's emotionally big monster, so I think he can go to a lot of places. But for example, when we tried the blues at the beginning of the season, I thought that he was emotionally mature enough to have that how can I say, just coolness. And I think what made me realize that it's not gonna happen is when at Bavarian he came out of the ice and he said, "I'm so happy with the way I felt the music and how I played with it," and I thought this was not the image I have in mind. If he thinks that this is it, I thought, Dennis, we are changing the program right now. That's it. I don't want to hear about this program anymore. This is it. Like, you know, when you're sure about something, but it's the reality of it is completely something else, then you're like, I think we'll find something else. So yeah, No, but it depends on the person. But I feel like my perception is that he would be able to perform it, right? But then not yet. So maybe in a few years we will see a great blues from Dennis where he will be really cool.
He's done it.
I
He's cool
hope.
enough.
Yes, I hope so. And I will work for it. But yeah, it depends also on the time. I have several playlists for Dennis since he's been together with me since 2016, and he's been evolving. So there is a playlist of this time, but there is now, I think it's my 5th playlist for him. So each playlist evolves into what he is today. And for Shoma, it's also very, how can I say, connected with his way of skating, expressing. What I admire about Shoma is how he manages his aggressivity to accelerate and to produce inertia with being so calm. I love that. Like for me, like Dennis, you see the effort on his face. Whenever he puts the power, you see the effort. With Shoma, it never shows any effort. On his face, it's just like natural flow, I would say. So I like that, and musics that give me that sense of groundness, with also some kind of he is someone of elegance and beauty, harmony, and the Baroque style was fitting him very well because it has elegance, aggressivity, but at the same time so much peace and harmony. So yeah, it defines him pretty well. So I had a lot of Baroque pieces for him, and Bach, Vivaldi pieces that fits him. Yes, but it's getting to know the skater, getting to know the personality, and it's so interesting when I have a new skater coming to choreograph. The best part is actually this part of getting to know and finding out, okay, what is going to make their eyes shine, and suddenly you see, oh, actually she likes to do that, and then you can go a little bit deeper there and develop more. And
thank you so much for talking to us. We've talked a lot about your skaters and you as a coach, choreographer. When it comes to your programs, what's the top program that I think you're the most proud of? If you want to share more than one, that's
I don't know exactly. I was watching a couple of weeks ago. I was watching some videos, and then some old videos of some of my performances came up to my feed, and I was watching, and I was quite impressed. I forgot. I forgot about it, and I was like, did I really do that? And it's funny because programs that I have not remembered because probably it was right after Europeans and I had to make a choreography, and I was always very conscious about putting something that matched the music, but sometimes by time pressure it went a little bit fast, and you don't remember that you did that. But one program that impressed me because I thought I was just using the energy of the music and not putting a lot of effort in building a lot was Last Dance with Donna Summer. And then when I was watching the performance, I was like, wow, it's not so much what you do or the content, but it's really about how much you enjoy doing it and the emotions that come through from the program. So any program, I think, complex or less complex, it's really how you deliver it and how you present it. So that program was not one on the top of the list, but then when I saw it, I was like, wow, it was actually much better than what I expect or what I remember. If I have to say the complex pieces that I remember and that I'm proud of,
Apparently we're locked in here and they can't get in. The code, so we will figure it out. We'll be fine. Yeah, we cannot lock you in the attic here forever, but
it's fine. I'm flying only on Wednesdays, so.
Nice, we'll get to spend some more time in Montreal.
I hope we have some food somewhere in the corner. No, but programs that I'm proud of. I enjoy the water that I did with Hertz. That program was one of my favorite to perform. It was pretty hard to do, physically speaking. And I enjoyed performing with Tom Odell, the piece Sense. This I really, really enjoyed. Every night performing it was just so much joy. I was super excited every time to perform. And then that were 2 show numbers that I performed during Art on Ice. Recently, I enjoyed a lot This Bitter Earth. I enjoyed a lot because the person that I worked with for the choreography, Roudia Touré, she challenged me to improvise during that piece, and I usually like to know what I do on each count of my music and on whatever accent or phrase. I have a pretty set sequence of steps, and there she was asking me to create an intention and to use this intention to express myself freely without having a specific content. And at first I was scared of that, and then when I was actually performing the program, I started to enjoy every time. I was like, okay, I want to be there and I want to see what kind of intention is going to come to my mind. And it was sometimes I was behind the curtain, I had zero image of what was going on, and when the curtain was opening, there was just one thought that came to my mind, and that was the thought that I used. And it was such a great experience to have that feeling of performing something that I would not dare maybe a few years ago. So yeah, I remember actually this was last year when I skated to Mahler at Aggetto. I had my sister. I started skating because of my sister. She was skating before me, and I had this vision of her inspiring me to skate, and she was kind of with me while I was skating, and it was so weird but so beautiful. But I really felt like I was with my sister and skating and thanking her for making me discover this sport. And yeah, during the whole performance it was this connection with her. So yes.
I'm going to have one last question, and then maybe we can take a group picture, because I think we're almost at no, you go so fast.
Really?
Yes, but well, and we can see it at a time, but I don't want to. I don't know if make Dennis be locked out in the cold. Come in. We'll make it work.
Yes, make it come.
But we wanted to know about what your plans are next. It's almost your birthday. Are you going to have some time to relax and have some fun? And then also about your show in the summer and anything else you can share about that.
Yesterday before the free, I was looking at my agenda and I was trying to put all the appointments. I have a lot of shows that I want to actually go and see. In February, I was able to watch many ballet performances, and it inspired me a lot for this competition. I have to say I was lacking some inspiration after Europeans. It was a hard season and it was hard to keep the motivation. So in February I decided each opportunity I will take to watch ballet, and I saw, for example, Manon in London, and it was just amazing. I saw also a triptych in Milano, in La Scala, which was also very inspiring, three contemporary choreographies. And when I was in Japan working with Shoma, I went to see l'Opéra de Paris dancing Swan Lake. So I had a couple of great moments of just watching beautiful things. And if I may, I recommend to watch beautiful things because they are so good for our soul and so good to inspire us to do good and to see where we're going and to plan ourselves. So my plan for April is to get to see some performances. I think I'm gonna go to Paris to see Crystal Pite. She has a new show with her company Kid Pivot, and I really love her work. So I'm gonna do that, but I have also to go to the dentist, and I have to go to do my treatments for my knee. So, and I need to go on holiday, and we have a spring camp, like an Easter camp in Champéry, the 2 first weeks of April, and I need to do a lot of choreographies, and we have a camp in Torino in May, and then I'm going to Fantasy on Ice. So it's packed, but I want to pack even more in this agenda. More things.
You have some moments just to have some beauty and nice things for yourself.
Exactly.
That is good.
And spending time with my family. I would love to spend more time with, usually on Sunday evening. So I finish working Sunday around 2 o'clock. And then Monday is my day off, so usually Sunday I go to my mom and we have a good family dinner with my brother, my sister, and their kids. And it's nice to have a moment with them. So
That's so nice. Well,
thank you so much. And when skating is not inspiring you anymore, just watch beautiful things. Okay? Because there are so many beautiful things out there. And from my perspective, I will try to defend beautiful skating more and more. Thank you for your attention, and see you somewhere. I don't know when, where, but hopefully
I know
soon.
I know at least some people are coming to Champéry for the show in August.
In August,
Once we know more about it.
Okay.
But there are some, yes, I know some plans
Yes,
are being made.
we are publicly announcing the show on the 17th of April. Yes, and hopefully opening the ticketing from that moment. So I hope that everything goes according to the plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Merci. And I wish you a great day. Enjoy the show if you go to the show.
Yes.
See you. I will check if Dennis is here. I want to listen to him. I'm sure he has some interesting things, but I don't want to intimidate him.
That's okay. We can, sit in the middle.